about contemporary life. It's very difficult to lay down traditional habits and to insist that your children's children follow them. It's impossible in most parts of the world because of the questioning of values and the development of new ones. And this need not lead to a radical breakdown in society, but to a positive transformation where you can improve the health and happiness of the populations in which you live. Now, planetary humanism says that the overwhelming fact for us is that we're no longer simply a member of France or of Uganda or other forsaken places like Texas, but that in one sense, we're members of every community on the planet, and the whole world of values is open to us. Now, and so a number of questions emerge that mankind or humankind or womankind had never concerned themselves with before. And of course, the first one is environmental. And you say, oh, not again. Yes, again and again and again, because the environmental problems that we face continue. The depletion of natural resources, the pollution of the atmosphere, the change in population is the greatest crisis that humankind faces. And as we hit 10 billion people in the not too distant future, this will become all the more apparent. So the whole nature of values differ because no person can live alone, isolated in East Cupcake, Texas. I don't know why I'm picking on Texas, a little town in Texas, or a little village in France or anywhere else, because we are all part of a new world and a new reality. And so then how do the humanists deal with that? We are major critics of religion because we think that the religious tradition, the things held good and right and wrong, are holdovers from earlier generations, and that as social conditions change and new opportunities emerge, a better life is possible for everyone on the planet Earth. And so values have to be transformed and will be transformed in spite of ourselves. So it is a rapid transformation of values. Now, there are certain things that we consider essential. And are there any principles that we would want to cherish no matter what? Well, yes, there are. And I think that we can say that they are humanistic in character. First, it need not be first in priority, but it has a high place. Every person on the planet is considered as a person to be equal in dignity and value. And that is not that every Frenchman or Frenchwoman is equal under the laws, or every Canadian is equal under the laws and moral concern, but every member of the planet now, and we're all members of the planet, particularly the people in this room who've traveled all over the world, and you see how small it is. So it's the planetary status and the consciousness and awareness of that is an overwhelming factor and will increasingly become so. And UNESCO, among other agencies, is going to have to deal with this question, the question of values, which will merge. Now, so if we consider this first principle that every human person, no matter what their national, racial, religious, or ethnic background is precious, at least from the democratic outlook. And this notion of a democratic world in which every individual is considered important morally and should not be vanquished or misused or considered as means to achieve your ends. So it seems to me there's an optimistic note that humanist ethics deals with human beings, and it has this principle, basic principle, that every person is a person with some level of dignity And that is something that the humanists have always defended, and that the Democrats have defended, and needs defending in the future. So ethics is planetary, yes, make that point. And our concern should be planetary, make that point. And we have no right to waste the resources of the world for frivolous goals. The draining of the oil without thoughts about the future will play hazards with the human species in 100 years from now. The using of natural resources with abandon is no longer tolerable. So there is a new ethics of the future of mankind, and we as humanists concerned with the humanity on the planet and concerned with every individual who we consider so vital and precious need to point that out.
Sorry.
This new ethic is secular. It is independent of religion. It has a basis in our scientific understanding of who and what we are, and our effort to create values which can be tested and examined in the light of their consequences. Now, I don't think that a war between religion and non-religion makes any sense any longer. We need to work closely with our religious friends because they too are concerned about Mother Earth and what will happen in the future to the human being. Well, so I'll keep my remarks brief because I know the time, but I merely want to state again that planetary ethics is the ethics of the future, of the present, and it's something that humanists ought to be concerned with, breaking ethics from the hold of ancient religious, political, or social dogmas, and opening up the opportunities for all members of the planet Earth. Thank you very much.
Thank you a lot.